Hello everyone. Welcome back to Movie World. Today, I'll show you a horror, romance film from 2010, titled, Let Me In. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Film begins in year 1983 as shown when the movie is started. Many police cars and an ambulance also come on the scene. They were driving off a disfigured person to the hospital. The face of that man is not shown because it is not worth seeing. Only his actions are shown because he was not being controlled by anyone. Observing his condition, police officers are unable to understand as what has happened with him. Detectives put query before him but he cannot tell anything. That man commits suicide while jumping through the room window when police officer is outside. And he is dead at the spot. Afterward, flashback is shown of previous 2 weeks. Where 12-year-old boy named Oscar is shown. Oscar used to live with his mother because his parents had separated. On the other side, a rude boy and his friends used to tease Oscar enough at school. So this was the cause of Oscar's worry. Because he had many problems in his personal and social life. So he used to spend his leisure time while watching his neighbors through his binocular. He sees a man named Hawking and 12-year-old girl named Allie come to his neighboring apartment to stay. Oscar peeps through his door peephole and thinks that Allie is of his age fellow. Oscar was releasing his anger after stabbing a knife into a tree. Observing him to do as such, Allie asks while coming, "What is he doing?" Oscar replies, "Nothing." At the same time, Oscar tries to be a friend of her. Then Hawking is observed who was seated in a lady's car, masking him. As car stops at a place, Hawking kills that lady, taking the advantage of situation. Taking the dead body of that lady, he moves into a forest and extracts all blood from her body. Then he brings it into his house. This blood is given to Allie, taking it at home. Then Allie and Oscar meet again. Allie was interested in puzzles so Oscar asks him to solve a puzzle cube. Then Allie reveals to Oscar of her age saying, she is still 12 years old. Oscar is pleased on it and leaves from there. After that, a man is noticed who is moving to his house. He observes Allie sitting at a deserted place. Allie kills him in a brutal way as he comes near her. Then she sucks his blood after killing. Here it is revealed that Allie is not a normal girl but a vampire. Allie survives after sucking the blood of people. So Hawking had brought that blood for Allie at former night. When she does not get the human blood, she becomes uncontrolled. Hawking leaves the house knowing that Allie has killed that man. Oscar is noticing everything but unable to get the point. And Hawking buries the dead body of that man near the ice rink. Oscar observes that Allie has solved that puzzle cube with no difficulty. He is impressed, seeing it. She also teaches to solve the puzzle cube. They become friends with a passage of time. They had developed closeness and affectionate feelings for each other. Knowing about the closeness of both, Hawking asks Allie to keep herself away from Oscar. At school, the same rude boy hits Oscar, leaving scar on his face. Allie asks about Oscar's face wound at night. Then Oscar reveals about that rude boy as he has hit and he is habitual to do it. Hearing it, Allie encourages him saying, a man should defend himself rather than to be beaten. Oscar says fearfully, he will be beaten more if he takes the same steps back. Then Allie assures him, she will surely come when her help will be required for him. Because he cannot imagine the power of Allie. Next day, Oscar joins Jim. The rude boy and his group advance towards Oscar to beat him when all school kids are going for ice skating. But Oscar confronts them at this time rather than to be afraid. And he beats that boy with a rod which injures his ear. Teacher and kids discover the dead body of that person under the ice who was killed by Allie. And Hawking had buried him. Kids are frightened, seeing it. Police officers also arrive there. Principal talks to suspend Oscar but later he is forsaken. Oscar is happy because he had preferred to fight bravely than to be afraid. Oscar also mentions it with Allie. Hawking leaves to hunt another person. He sits in a car of a boy. Before any action on his part, boy's other friend accompanies him in the car. Hawking is worried here thinking how he should kill both of them. Then a car stops at a gas station. One of the boys between them goes to a store for shopping. Hawking attacks the other boy before his return. And he is caught sight by the people when he moves to front seat for driving. The people begin to run after him. Hawking drives car speedily to escape. As a result his car is crashed with another car and it is turned upside down. This accident hurts Hawking. The boys are coming at the front to catch him. Then Hawking distorts his face, throwing acid on his face so no one can identify him. Consequently, his face is scorched. He was not being recognized because of burnt face. He is brought to the hospital. Here it is revealed that shown disfigured person at the start of movie, He was not another person but Hawking. Hawking's face seems distorted because he had burned his face with acid. Knowing about it, Allie moves to that hospital. A nurse tells her in reception that Hawking is in the custody of police, so you cannot meet him. Hearing it, Allie does not utter a word and leaves from there. Climbing up the windows of hospital, she reaches the room window of Hawking, and Hawking also comes there to meet her. He represents himself for Allie so she may suck his blood. Because Allie had an intense need of blood. Meanwhile, Hawking falls from the hospital building. Detectives find his dead body while coming there. Allie is also standing there but is overlooked by the police. Allie was depressed and she knocks Oscar's room door. Oscar calls her inside and asks her to be a close friend of him. Allie accepts it happily. Then she tells, "I am not a girl." But Oscar ignores it. Police officers visited Allie's house for investigation because they were suspecting Hawking's suicide. Police suspected Allie because she had left the hospital without saying anything when she visited the hospital. Oscar takes Allie at a secret place about which no one was aware. There Oscar hurts his finger in order to make a blood relation with Allie. He also asks Allie to do the same. Allie being a blood sucker, Allie loses her control, seeing Oscar's blood. Her reality is exposed before Oscar. She runs from there to avoid any harm to Oscar. She encounters a couple who reside there, and in that couple, she attacks a lady, biting her. Oscar was observing the whole situation and he had come to know the reality of Allie as she is vampire, not a normal human being. Oscar calls his father, who does not talk to him much. Oscar was not prepared to accept the reality of Allie, so he is dejected. Because he was in love with Allie. He goes to meet Allie, who reveals her reality. As she is a vampire who needs the blood of a live human for her survival. She can lose her control, not finding the blood. She says she has to do it to fulfill his need, otherwise she does not want to harm anyone. Oscar asks Allie, "From which year have you been 12 years old?" Allie says, "I have been 12 years old for many years." It means she doesn't grow. Then Oscar notices a photo on the table. There was another boy with Allie in the photo. Seeing that photo, Oscar becomes envious. And he leaves angrily. And lady who was bitten by Allie was behaving mysteriously. Because she had also turned into a blood sucker and biting herself. In the morning, vampires cannot bear the sunlight, so Hat Lady burns receiving the sunlight as the nurse opens the door. And that nurse also dies along with her while burning. Detectives are left astonished. Oscar checks as his house doorbell rings. There was Allie. She says to Oscar, "Ask her to come inside." But Oscar asks her to come inside without permission. As a result, Allie is wounded to bleed. Immediately, Oscar permits her to come inside. And Allie restores her normal condition. Here a reality of vampire is exposed, as they cannot enter the house of anyone without permission. Then they hug each other. Now their affectionate feelings are more developed. A police officer was keeping an eye on Allie. Because the statements about Allie were same told by nurse and that lad's husband. So they were putting blame on Allie for all. Oscar is also at Allie's house when police officers come to arrest Allie. As police officer goes near the bathtub, Allie bites him while attacking. Oscar is also noticing everything. Those police officers ask help from Oscar, but he does not help him, favoring Allie. Oscar shuts the door and police officer is dead at that place. Then they both hide that police office in that secret place. The other police officers were nearly to come there because of that police officer's death, so Allie has to go, leaving Oscar behind. Oscar is dejected because he was madly in love with Allie. That rude boy and his friends come to take revenge from Oscar during the swim class. As the class starts, they send teacher outside while telling a lie. And they lock the door from inside as the teacher leaves. They tease Oscar too much while other kids from swimming pool are sent. Terrorizing Oscar, he says to him, he will have to stay underwater for 3 minutes while holding his breath. They will pull out one of his eyes if he is unable to do as such. Oscar remains underwater for a time, but later his condition begins to worsen. Coming there, Allie kills 3 of them violently. Oscar's condition is worst when he comes outside from the water. Relying on the sincerity of Allie, Oscar is ready to go with her, leaving everything. While traveling in the train, there is a big box before him where Allie was locked. Because vampires cannot sustain in the sunlight. And they leave to start a new life of them. It is also revealed here, he was Hawking in the photo with Allie, which Oscar had noticed going to Allie's house. Because Allie does not grow, so remained 12 years old for many years while Hawking had grown too old. Because Hawking was dead, so Oscar had become the need for her survival. So she becomes his friend and they fall in love with each other. So they were beloveds, Allie could transform Oscar into while biting so that they may live together forever. And movie ends here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.